Alright, so this next part I'm going to show you how to make these little kind of specks. So it looks like she has sparks, or kind of these flicker sparks coming off of her hair. And again, you can be sort of creative how you choose to do this portion depending on your picture. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to create a new layer. We're actually going to create it in between your fire texture, whatever your top, I know you probably have a few, like I have fire texture coffee too, but whatever your last or most upper fire texture is, and then we're going to put it in between the hue and brightness. So go down and click your layer icon at the bottom, and it did add it in between. If for some reason it moved, if it ended up somewhere else, just kind of move it in between your last fire texture copy and then in between hue and saturation. Then we're going to select the brush tool, and this is over here in your toolbox. Okay, so again, make sure your brush tool is selected, and then you are going to go to Window and you're going to select Brush. And we want to make sure, I'm going to uncheck some of these. We're going to select brush shape, and we want to pick like a soft brush size, so about 30, and it has sort of a fuzzy edge to it. Then we're going to move this size slider to about 45. And again, if you have trouble, you can always type it in as well. And then we're going to go down to spacing, and you're going to change it to 98%. And again, it might just be easier to type it. Okay, and then we're going to go down to Shape Dynamic. So again, just go to Shape and Dynamics, and you might actually have to click like on the word Shape Dynamic to get to the right context menu. And you want to make sure that Flip X Jitter and Flip Y Jitter are checked off. And then the size of the jitter we do want to keep at 100%. And then the roundness jitter, which is down here, we want to leave at 25%. So mine were already set. But again, size jitter 100%, roundness jitter 25%, and then again make sure the Flip X jitter and the Flip Y jitter are checked. And you can kind of see how we're creating our own sort of brush pattern down here, which is what these sort of brush, this menu is allowing us to do, which is pretty cool. And then we are going to check scatter, and then you again want to kind of click on the word scatter, and you want to check both axes, and then the count should be at 2, and then the scatter should be at 1000%. And again, mine were already set, but anyway, just to reiterate, make sure both axes is checked, make sure the slider is moved all the way down where it says scatter to 1000%, and then make sure the count is set to 2. Okay? And then you are going to go down to transfer, and again sort of click on it, and we want to set the opacity at 100%, and yeah, and I think that's it. I don't think we have to do anything else. with this one. And so we're done sort of setting up our brush pattern. And again, if you look down here, you can sort of see this kind of like flickering pattern paint texture that we've just created. So go ahead and just close that out. The next thing we want to do is go to the color picker, and is this foreground and background. Mine looked a little bit different. Yours might be reset. Let me show you what it looks like. I can't do it right now. But yeah, it probably looked like this. So just click on the foreground color. And what we want to do is pick a color gray. So I don't know if you can see how it's very set. And it doesn't matter what color on the spectrum you are, but just, move across the square, and then as it gets grayer, just select one of the gray colors and then hit OK. And then notice how it changed here in the foreground and background color. It's your new foreground color. And so what we're going to do, and remember, just double check and make sure you're in that layer 3. We might go up here and enlarge our brush just a little bit. And we want to, again, sort of stick with a soft brush. And you're just going to kind of click around and, sort of create these kind of, these kind of specks and sparks. And as you're doing this, you might want to experiment and make your brush larger or smaller so you get like different effects. So I don't know why mine's anyway. There we go. And again, oops, I don't like how that did. I think my brush might be a little too large. And again, just, think about, this is sort of like sparks are coming off of hers, so you might not do yours exactly like mine, which is fine. But just kind of play around with it. And again, if you don't like something as well, you can always go to your eraser tool and, get rid of one. Like there's one right here, so if one ends up in a weird place that you don't like, you can use that as your option. I'm going to go back to my brush and see if I can do a better job. There we go. And I'm going to go back to my eraser tool and kind of get rid of some of them. Alright, so you notice that the color is gray, and we're going to end up using our color balance feature in our image and adjustment mode up here to change the color. Alright, now go to Image, Adjustments, and Color Balance. And so what you're going to do is first you're going to check off shadows and make sure that's circled. And then you're going to change, I'm going to give you some figures. I mean, you can, if you want, you can sort of play around, but as you can see, you can sort of change that gray color. But let me give you some figures. So for this one, we're going to do plus 100, and then minus 40, and then minus 100, and then you hit O. Well, and then you move to your midtones, okay? And we're going to plug in plus, oops, I gotta hit down the shift. Let me get back. Plus 99, and then minus 12, and then minus 100. So that's our midtones. And then we're going to go to highlights and plug in some other figures. So again, you have to hold down your shift key for the plus to work. 100, and then plus 3, and minus 44. So this should match your color. I mean, it might not be perfect, but it's pretty close. And again, if you want to play around and experiment with the sliders, you can. And then just go back and double check, like just click on the midtones, because sometimes they switch back. So it looks like these stayed. Wait. Yep, looks like these stayed. And then you hit OK. Alright, so we're going to create another layer. So go down to your new layer icon, like so. And again, select the brush tool. And this time we're going to change the size. And I know it might be hard for you to see up here, but you know, just change it to like maybe like 300. I know my thing's blocking it. And so grab your brush tool. I moved it so you can see the brush. And we actually do want a larger size brush. So maybe 500, maybe something a little bit small. And then again, we want a soft brush. Wow, that's really different. Okay, and again, you want to make sure that the gray is selected. And we're just going to kind of create like a soft glow. Like I'm going to, oops, that's not what was supposed to happen. Okay, I figured out what was wrong. So when you're here in the brush tool and you click on changing the size, you actually, because it might still be set on your preset that you created, so just click one of these other brushes. You actually have to come down here and click it, and then you can resize it. So again, we're using the gray, and we just kind of want to create sort of a soft edge, and I don't like that. I think that's too. I think I might need to make my brush a little bit bigger. And I think I'm going to knock down the opacity a little bit so it's a little bit softer there. So maybe knock down your opacity to like 75%. But it's just more of like a glow on her, or I might have done it a little too much. There. And then we're going to kind of do the same thing again. We're going to go to Image, Adjustments, and Color Balance, and plug in some figures. So we're going to plug in the same measurements that we did before. So click on Shadows, and again you want to put in plus 100, minus 40, minus 100, and again go to midtones, and we're going to put in plus 99, oops, plus 99, minus 12, and minus 100, and then your highlights, plus 100, and plus 3, and then minus 44.